One of my favorite topics when discussing clean code in Angular applications is respecting the separation of concerns and using the container presenter pattern. A container is a smart component in which you inject your services, router, and state management or store. A presenter is a presentational component that takes care of the presentation logic, in which you can define your forms and manage user interactions. It's generally dumb, but it should not be always that way. When you see the list of inputs and outputs between your components become too long in a way that's hard to maintain, then it may make sense to refactor your code and inject some services into your presentational or leaf components. But besides reducing the list of inputs and outputs and their repetitions at multiple levels of the component tree, you can actually, in some cases, simplify your logic and reduce the clutter by injecting services into presentational components. And that's what I'm going to show today. I'll dive deep into how to make your code a bit more fun and manageable. Sounds good? So let's dive in. Simplifying Angular components with service injection. Case study. Showing a real-time feedback to user. Here I have an application that provides real-time feedback to users when they are creating a new entity and type a name that already exists in the system and is used by another entity. This helps prevent duplicate entries by displaying a warning message. It improves the user experience, or UX, by ensuring data integrity and reducing errors during form submission. Let's have a look at how this is implemented. In the template, I'm checking the value of a variable name already exists. If it's true, this warning message will be displayed on the user interface. The value of the variable name already exists is coming from parent components. In SES field set with details component, I have this name already exists property that is a behavior subject. This property is manipulated by several methods like check if name exists, on cancel edit, ng on changes, update SES field, and create custom field. Yes, that's a lot of places where this property is touched. And in the template, I'm passing this name already exists property down through multiple components using inputs and outputs. As you can see, it quickly gets messy with all these events and bindings. Now let's look at the SES field set component. This component receives name already exists as an input and has outputs for check if name exists and cancel edit. These are passed down further to create custom field component and SES field component, which creates a cascade of inputs and outputs. In SES field component, the name already exists variable is again an input, and I have more outputs for checking names and cancelling edits. Yes, it's a lot to manage. Now let's see how I can simplify this. Refactoring for a better solution. The magic trick here is service injection. Injecting the store service directly into the presentational component will eliminate all these inputs and outputs and simplify the logic. Let me show you how. First, I will delete the name already exists property and all its manipulations in the parent component. Then I inject the store service directly into SES field component. Now, instead of emitting events to check if the name exists, I call the service directly into the SES field component. This reduces the complexity significantly. Here is how to adjust the logic in the notify parent component when name changes method. I directly update the name already exists variable by calling check if name exists method on the service. No more event emissions needed. Now, when changes occur and edits are cancelled, I just reset the name already exists variable directly within the component. So much cleaner. To sum it up, by injecting the service directly into the component, I cut down on the boilerplate code, reduced the number of inputs and outputs, and made my component more focused and easier to maintain. What do you think? Pretty cool, right? If you enjoyed this refactoring session, Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more tips and tricks on making your code more awesome. And don't forget to leave a comment if you have any questions or if there is a specific topic you'd like me to cover next. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Excited about diving deeper into the world of software architecture? This video is just the beginning. Check out my Udemy video course on software architecture, where I explore these concepts further and dive into real-world challenges. The link to the course is in the video description below. And here is a bonus. Subscribe to my newsletter and you will get free access to all my courses.